Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings of peace, dear viewers, and welcome to another episode of She in Islam. Ramadan Mubarak. We hope your Ramadan is going well, that your fasting is easy, inshallah, and that you're getting a little bit more out of the fasting and the Ramadan experience other than just being hungry and thirsty, but they're actually feeding your soul and your spirit, inshallah, and that you're growing in some way or other. And this is part of the purpose of our show, is to help you a little bit get that spirituality, understanding of Islam, inshallah. Today it's the second episode of a series called The 5 Love Languages, and we are joined by our guest, Mr. Tony Brown. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, how are you?
Wa alaikum salam, very good, thanks.
Tony has, in the last episode, talked about the 5 love languages and the importance of communicating in a marriage. Tony, would you just reiterate a little bit from the last episode what we were talking about, because some of the viewers might have just joined us today?
Sure. So just to recap, there's an American psychologist, and his name is Dr. Gary Chapman. He did a lot of research on how people show love. You know, we have an idea of what it is. We know why we should love each other, but he really illustrated how we should love each other. And so he broke it down into 5 different languages, he called them. So first of all would be giving gifts. Some people give gifts to show they love a person. Another is acts of service. So you would do nice things for them to try and make their life easier. Another is spending quality time together. Mm-hmm. So people will spend time with the person they like. Another is physical touch. Some people hold hands or hug or something like that. You know, here in the Middle East, they kiss on the cheeks a lot, things like that. So this is to show affection through physical touch. And also some people show their affection just through verbal communication, like just saying, I love you, or I like you, you're a good friend, you're my best friend, something like that. So basically there are 5 different languages. And the problem that we run into is we normally give what we want to receive. So if a person shows or wants to receive quality time, well, that's what they give. So when somebody wants to receive a gift, they won't give a gift.
Because that's what they know.
That's right, exactly.
You know, one thing that would be interesting to study, I don't know if that was actually brought up in the book, do men and women have a preferred, like is there one language that more men tend to use and one language that women tend to, or is that pretty much, or was that not at all addressed in the book? Yeah,
it wasn't addressed, and he found that it's almost proportional. When he studied the population, right. It's almost that a fifth of the population falls into each category.
Okay, not according to gender.
Yeah, he didn't study it according to gender.
Because I just got that thought of, you know, men like to spend on their wife, right. You know, buying her things or taking her out to a restaurant, which is a form of gift giving.
That's right.
So I was wondering if that would be something that is maybe more male or female, but you said that is not relevant. It's just a population, it's equally distributed. Yeah. SubhanAllah. Now, how does this topic relate to Islam?
Yeah, love in Islam is very, very important. You know, in the Quran, Allah says that He has put love between your hearts. Yes. And this is a sign from Him. So this is very important. And not only that, Islam is also supposed to be a brotherhood among Muslims. Muslims are supposed to love each other. They're not supposed to have a lot of conflicts. They're not supposed to always be accusing each other. You know, your beard isn't big enough or something like that. You know, Muslims are supposed to be brothers to each other. So is this how you treat your brother? You know, probably not. You would be a lot more friendly, caring for him. And you wouldn't overdo it too. You know, I find a lot of people try to overdo it. They try to exaggerate in showing love to each other,
which might sometimes not be genuine at that point, right?
That's right.
It's just a big show, but not really genuine.
That's right. So we know the importance of love in Islam. It's very, very important. Even one Muslim nation to another Muslim nation, it's very important that they love each other. It's almost like the foundation, you know, to love God and to love man, to love your fellow human being. That's like the foundation of almost any religion.
True, and love fosters tolerance and peace.
That's right, exactly.
Yes.
So, you know, when we look at this new information that we have, I think is very applicable to Islam. For example, let's look at gift giving. You know, gift giving is very important in Islam, like
it's
sadaqah.
Encouraged, yes.
Yeah, like sadaqah, right? Even giving a date,
Yes.
You know, the Prophet said if somebody offers you something, you should accept it. And you remember the story I told you about a long time ago when I had a girlfriend, she was always giving me gifts and I was
Yes.
rejecting it.
Yes.
So the message I'm sending her is I'm rejecting your love.
Yes.
So isn't it very
Which
interesting?
is hurtful. Yes.
Yeah, it's very hurtful. So isn't it very interesting that there's also this hadith where the Prophet says if somebody gives you something, accept it.
You should accept it. Yes.
Because they're giving it to you to show love to you. So when you accept it, you're accepting their love. Also acts of service. You know, and I found out a lot of Muslims actually don't know about this, but there's an authentic hadith that shows that the Prophet used to help Aisha do housework.
Yes.
Like sweeping the house.
He used to mend his own clothes, I think.
Yeah,
and, yes.
exactly. He used to do a lot of chores. It wasn't all, you know, it wasn't just all put on Aisha to do everything herself. So when you do this, you're sending the message that you want to make their life easier. So by doing this housework, he's trying to make Aisha's life a little easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though Aisha was a homemaker.
That's right.
Right, and so nowadays a lot of the men will say, well, you're home full time, why should I help you? I'm working outside. But it's more an act of showing that you care, not so much that it's a balance of being fair or spend enough time being spent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, also with regard to quality time. Actually, I'll go back one. About acts of service, there's another really good example just popped into my mind. There was an old man or old woman, I can't remember, and he was carrying his luggage around, heavy bags. And the Prophet came to help him, or her. I can't remember if it's a man or a woman. And as a result, that person became Muslim. Maybe because they felt cared about.
SubhanAllah,
Maybe
of course.
because they felt loved.
Right. Well, we'll get back to the last two love languages in just a minute. We'll go for a break. It's really interesting. Stay with us, inshallah. Just a back. We'll be back.
M is for the million things she gave me. O means only she's growing old. T is for the tears she shed to save me. H is for her heart of purest gold. E is for her eyes with love light shining. R means right, and right she'll always be. Put them all together, they spell mother, a word that means the world to me.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, dear viewers. We are in the middle of a very interesting conversation, and that is the 5 love languages and how these love languages actually apply to Islam. Not everything that is any concepts that are created or have been studied in the West are something that we can't apply to Islam. Actually, we take whatever good comes from that and we see how it fits with Islam, inshallah. So, Brother Tony, we're talking about the 3, and now we're on the 4th love language, right? And how that applies to Islam.
Yeah. So there's quality time.
Yes.
You know, the Prophet always used to spend time with his wives, and I'll give you a good example. In the mosque, during that time, they used to have competitions like wrestling and spear fighting. So they had some Ethiopians, and they liked to spear fight. Just practicing, not serious, just having fun inside the mosque.
So entertainment, yes.
Exactly. So the Prophet came with Aisha, and they were watching it together. You know, and Aisha was cold, so the Prophet gave her his coat.
So maybe as a gift again, so many different love languages that are being expressed.
Yeah, so the significance here is they went to enjoy the entertainment together. He didn't just tell Aisha, okay, stay home, I'm going with my friends.
Right.
I'll be back midnight or something like that. He went with her to spend time with her to enjoy the celebration or the event, right? Mm-hmm. Also, the companions always used to sit together. They used to hang out in the masjid, and they used to sit and laugh and joke, and they would always spend time with each other. People used to come and visit the Prophet all the time. And finally, words of affirmation. You know, in Islam, if you don't have something good to say, you should just be silent. No, you shouldn't be cursing people. You shouldn't be saying rude things. You shouldn't be yelling, raising your voice.
True.
If you have nothing good to say, just remain silent. And this is significant because it shows that we should be saying good things. You know, what comes from our mouth should be good.
Yes, of course, to anybody really.
Yeah, so we can see that these 5 love languages are within Islam. You know, it's in the doctrine of Islam. It's in the core of Islam. And it makes sense because if you have, let's say you have a religious group of people and they all hate each other, it's never going to work, right?
Right.
And let's say you have another group and they love each other and they work well together and they appreciate each other.
Great teamwork.
Yeah, that religion is going to rise.
Yes.
That religion is going to be successful.
Of course. Brotherhood.
Yeah, brotherhood, and also, you know, being a tight family unit, being good with your family.
And being able to communicate.
Exactly.
Yes, yes, yes. When you were talking about spending quality time, you know, I find that is, even with friends, so important. And sadly, these days, you know, people don't spend that much time with friends, quality time with their friends anymore, because everybody's hanging out on the social media.
That's right.
Right, so sadly, that is one love language that is being forgotten.
That's right.
Of actually spending physical time, or maybe even a phone call time to a friend.
Yeah, the importance of this, there's a key word, quality time. It's not just spending time together. It's spending time together with the TV off, or with you know, your phone in your pocket, not checking your messages or something like that. Exactly. This means quality time, you know, talking with them, seeing how they're feeling. You know, maybe something like going for a walk together, or just sitting together and just spending that time to connect.
So it's not just to say, oh, well, I'm home with you, so what else do you want, right? So it's a matter of making an effort to do something special that you both enjoy doing, or that maybe even the partner enjoys doing, or your friend enjoys doing, just to do it for them.
There was exactly. There was a lady, and she was complaining that her husband never spends any time with her. And he's like, what are you talking about? I eat lunch with you every day. You know, that's like 1 hour every day. And then when I come home from work, you know, in the afternoon, I spend like a couple hours with you. But the thing is, they're spending time eating, and he's not really, you know, spending quality time. He's watching TV.
They're spending time side by side, not with each other, maybe.
Exactly, exactly.
So that, of course, would affect any kind of relationship, whether it be a friendship or a marriage or...
Exactly.
Yes. So are these love languages applicable to children, to our children as well? If we have especially grown children, let's say.
Yes, Dr. Gary Chapman has written a lot of books on this subject, and he wrote one about how to deal with your kids too. And it's specifically, it's the same information, but specifically geared towards your kids. And you know, in Islam, raising your kids is very important. Like the Prophet used to kiss his kids before they would leave the house.
Show affection, yes.
So this is an example of physical touch. If you look at all the love languages, I'm sure you'll find them with dealing with your kids.
Yes, I think there's a hadith, I don't want to quote it exactly, but about a Bedouin man coming to the Prophet ﷺ saying, why are you, showing, I've never kissed my children. I don't know how many children, I've never kissed one of them. And the Prophet ﷺ said something in the meaning of, if Allah has not placed that mercy in your heart, then what can I do? So yeah, the importance of even a man being able to show affection to his children is very important in Islam. It's not frowned upon or seen as less manly for a man to actually hug and kiss his own children.
That's right. Yep, same with gifts, giving toys to your kids.
And being equal with the children, giving gifts. The Prophet ﷺ said something about being equal among your children, between your children. So.
Yeah, and of course you don't want to overdo it,
Every good thing can be overdone, yes. Of course.
I find with gifts, a good gift, if you don't know what to give, or the person doesn't like clutter, is something consumable.
Yes, I always agree with that too. Yep.
So, this is where McDonald's always wins, because they have that little toy that's like fun to play with, but then you throw it away.
Yes, it's nothing worry that you're going to throw it. Yes, true, yes.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people do enjoy consumables. Like, I don't know if in this culture it's so much, but in our Western cultures, for example, a gift basket of items for a baby shower where there's lotions and baby shampoos and things, something people can use and actually don't need to buy on their own then in the first few weeks. something very useful. Well, we'll go for a quick break, and then we will talk about if there is actually hate languages as well. Be right back. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, dear viewers, and we are in the middle of a very, very interesting conversation about the 5 love languages. So, unfortunately, Brother Tony, not only does love exist among people, between people, also the opposite of love, which is hate. So, are there any hate languages?
Yes, unfortunately, there are hate languages as well. Actually, these 5 love languages aren't just love languages. They're ways of expressing your love or hate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for example, like...
So gift giving, can that be an expression of hate?
Yes, yes.
By not giving it, maybe, or by...
I'll explain. You know, there's a website on the internet, and you can put your enemy's address into the form, and they will send him a parcel full of animal poop.
No way.
Real animal poop.
Oh my
and
goodness.
You choose,
that is only in the West, though. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, not here in Kuwait.
Alhamdulillah, wow.
So you choose the animal, like a horse, an elephant, a cow. It's very funny. It's very funny.
You must have quite a bit of hate for somebody to actually go to those extents.
Yeah, I think if somebody sent me a package like this in the mail, I would just want to kill them.
And anonymously? It gets sent anonymously or with the return address?
No, anonymous. So
that actually is quite nasty, because the person who receives it now is starting to go through all the people he knows who could possibly have sent that, right?
That's right, yeah. One time when I was a kid, there was another kid that was angry at me. And he drew a drawing, and took a black crayon and scribbled on it and made it very ugly. And then he said, "Here, this is for you." So you see, he's giving a gift in a way to express his hate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, but that's quite a cowardly way to express. Very sad, but quite a cowardly way, especially the anonymous bit right there, you know? It's like, if you don't like me, face me and say it.
Yeah,
wow.
Also acts of service, when you do something to help somebody.
Right.
You know, it's very sad, but I've seen examples where people have done something to make something more difficult on somebody else. You know, like they might create a virus and put it in somebody's computer.
Sadly, of course, that's
right?
a phenomenon all across the world, yes. And you being IT, you'll probably come across a lot of those, yes.
Yeah, or they might know that somebody needs something, so they hide it. You know, they're trying to make...
I've come across something like that, yes.
It's like acts of service, but it's the opposite. They're doing something to make their life more difficult. Mm-hmm. You know, spending time with a person. Well, I mean, if somebody hated somebody, they just wouldn't spend time with that person.
So withdrawal of spending time.
That's right. Same with physical touch. You know, we've seen many times on YouTube people fighting, fist fighting, right? That's an act of physical contact where it's not loving at all. It's very hateful. It's very harmful. And also verbally. We all know that, you know, people can swear, they can say cruel things. So these 5 love languages, you know, can be used to show your love, but it can also be used to show hate.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
So would somebody have a preferred hate language as well then, that they communicate? Like somebody who, let's say, is physical, would they always express their physical hate, you know, in physical ways?
Well, the research on this isn't conclusive yet, so I can only tell you my own personal theories. I would say that the love language that you have is going to be the same as the hate language that you have. This is my opinion. So if somebody is a gift giver, if somebody is a quality time person or somebody is a verbal person, they're going to express the hate the exact same way that they express the love.
Oh, very interesting.
So it's almost like an avenue. It's like a language. A language can be used for good or evil. You know, anytime we have information, it can be used for good or evil.
Of course.
You can use a computer for good or evil, a car for good or evil, right?
Definitely, yes.
So these love languages can be used for evil too.
SubhanAllah.
And should not be used for evil.
Right, yes, of course, of course.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah, that's interesting. So, of course, everywhere there exists love, the opposite actually of love is hate.
That's right.
Right, if there's no love, there's oftentimes hate or indifference.
That's right.
Right, so,
That's right.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
So how can people overcome their differences if they have different love languages? Like two friends not having the same love language, or a husband and a wife not having the same love language. How do you bridge that?
Well, what you can do is you can target all the languages if you want, but you have to keep in mind only one is going to be the most effective. So you can give them a gift, say something nice to them, do something nice for them, spend time with them, and the other one as well. So you can do all of them in like one shot. Mm-hmm. And then try and see what they respond to the best, what makes them the happiest, what makes them feel the best.
Right.
Also, you can ask them about their memories. What was the best experience you had with me? And they might say, oh, you know, like 5 years ago, remember we were just sitting on the beach and then it started to rain, so then we had to run in the car, and then we were just sitting in the car, you know, watching the waves as it rained, and we were just talking together. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So then you know, aha, okay, so it's a quality time. So now that you know what their love language is, now you have to accommodate it. Because if you reject it, you know, they're going to feel unloved. Mm-hmm. You know, they're just like with my situation with the girlfriend. You know, I like to hug, hold hands, and she took this as clingy. She wants her own space. So I interpret this as she doesn't love me. She doesn't accept my love. My love is rejected. She doesn't want my love. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to identify their love language, and then you have to cater to it.
So even if it's not your own language, you can change your own ways to actually accommodate the other person.
That's right. And there's also a key, it has to be sincere. If you know their love language is verbal communication, it has to be sincere communication.
Of course,
it can't be empty words.
Exactly.
It has to be true.
Exactly. And we'll be back in a minute with that thought, inshallah. Just a minute, inshallah.
The table is a meeting place, a gathering ground, the source of sustenance and nourishment, festivity, safety, and satisfaction. A person cooking is a person giving. Even the simplest food is a gift. Years, months, days. Time goes by so fast, and we're only left with memories. I wish my life comes with tools, pause, play, and rewind, so I could go back to the lovely family gathering.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. Back at the topic of the 5 love languages. We explored the 5 hate languages as well, so they're very similar, although opposite. And now we were talking briefly about how we can bridge our differences, because of course people often don't have the same love language. Does a couple, especially a married couple, have to have the same love language in order to have a good marriage?
I think it works better when they're similar, but it's not necessary, especially if the person values the relationship. They can easily adapt their behavior to suit the other person. For example, if you know the person likes to hear things verbally, you can say nice things to them. You know, just understand that that's the way they're going to receive your love.
And like you said, they have to be sincere words, so you have to make sure you choose true language.
That's right. If you know that they're an acts of service person, you can make them breakfast in the morning. You can set out the table very nice. You can arrange everything. You're doing an act of service. So it does. I mean, you just force yourself to do it. You just accommodate that, and you're going to notice that that person will appreciate it. So it's going to encourage you to do it more, and that will kind of change the dynamics of the relationship. That'll create better connections, and it will grow from there.
So do you think it's also a good idea if, let's say, one person in the relationship has that information, right, about the 5 love languages? Is it appropriate to tell your spouse, now look, this is my love language, that's what I need? Do you think that that works?
Yeah, I think that's very important,
To express your needs?
Yeah, it's very important to figure out what our love language is and also express that. Show appreciation. Tell them, oh, I love it when you hug me, or I love it when you brought me flowers, something like that.
So with positive reinforcement, hoping that would come.
That's right.
Would come again.
That's right. It's very, very important.
Right. Without putting the other person down for expressing the love in any other way.
That's right. And this information is important because we need to be more tolerant too, because we might think that, okay, this is my love language, and so he or she should try and accommodate that, but just understand it's not natural for them, because we always give what we want to receive. So it's not going to be natural for that person to accommodate you. So it's going to take some time.
It's a learning process.
That's right.
So maybe we could help our partner, our spouses, to guide them into exactly what we need, instead of asking for them to read our minds.
Exactly.
Right? To have, again, it's a process of communication. Maybe to have a sit down and say, look, I've read this book, or I've read about this study, and this, and this is what I think you need, this is what I think I need. Maybe to even open that door of communication first.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being on our 2 episodes. I really appreciate you and your information that you shared with the viewers. I hope the viewers got as much out of it as I did, because really it was new information, something that builds us as human beings, whether it's in our friendships, in our sister and brotherhood, in our marriages. So Jazakallah khair, Brother Tony, for being with us.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, we hope you have a wonderful Ramadan and Iftar, and inshallah don't forget to pray your Taraweeh tonight. We'll be back with more episodes on She in Islam.